I like that. I like kind of where you're going with that. So we got so right now just to conclude kind of like our thinking pattern. Something very and we talking about the beginning, we talking about the start of all of this. Mixing in science and archaeology, all of the bones and the earliest remains that they found in Africa. Okay, that pits us coming out of Africa. We see all of the great patriarchs of this chosen group of people, the Israelites, always navigating back towards Africa. We see all of the Greek philosophers from Socrates, Plato, the list goes on and on. What did they do? They migrated back to Africa. Okay. When Alexander the Great made his stance, what did he do? He had established a city in Egypt. And all of the great thinkers and people was learning where they were learning at in Egypt, in Africa. Then we start to unfold and dig up a lot of ancient texts and ancient writings, Christian writings, Gnostic texts, lost apocryphals, all of this stuff. Where are we finding this stuff at? In Egypt. So it's like everything is pointing us back to the center of the earth, which logically kind of makes sense. I mean, that makes sense that, hey, this is where everything started, in this central place, in this central territory, and it's something special or mystical about this area to this day.
It has to be.
It has to be.
It's like I said, it's mentioned way too many times.
Way too many times.
Like you said, the what we believe, our beliefs, our faith, the things that we have faith in, come from there. Like we found it there. The things that we're reading that give us our beliefs and our faith, they found it there. Why they didn't find it where it was written at in the promised land?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like when you say this stuff, you have to remember that everything happens for a reason. Mm-hmm. Nothing can happen. How do you say it? Like, if God don't want it to happen, it's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If he didn't want this stuff found in Egypt, it could have been found in Israel. You know what I'm saying?
I got a new question. So if Egypt was this special place, right? Mm-hmm. And let's just say that it is. Like I'm saying that it was and it is. Like we ain't got all of the math figured out yet, but it's something about Egypt. Why would if Abraham came out of Sumer, right? Mm-hmm. Which is right next door to the land of Canaan. Mm-hmm. Why would he leave Sumer and God tell him to be established in Canaan? Why not tell him to go back to Africa? Why wouldn't Egypt in that region be the promised land? What was so now significant and special about this land of Canaan now? Why did that end up being the chosen region? Why did that end up being the promised land?
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. That's something I've never looked into.
So listen, right?
Yeah.
So Darnell just tapped into something that my mind was wondering about a few days ago, right? So as human beings in all categories, everybody wants there to be something special about where they're from or how they remember, regardless of where you come from, what you was born into, what your lineage is. There's something of where you come from that you represent. You know what I'm saying? Etc. Mm-hmm. With all of that being said, I'm going to who are the chosen ones. that battle was going on way before Christ came along.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? But now that Christ has come along, for those of us, any of us, that consider us to be in any kind of oppression, everybody is like, we've got to be the chosen one. But the chosen ones, the chosen nations, the ones who felt that we were the most gifted, we were the most advanced, we're the most evolved, etc., was going on long before Christ was even born or even thought about.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And that's what, like you said, that's what it really was in BC. That's what the wars and all that was over. It was over exactly what Mark is saying. We're the chosen people. We're the greatest nation. We're, you know what I'm saying? That's what it was. And it was about gods. Like, you know, we talked about this before that, you know, back then, man, it was like, that's why like Egypt had so many gods, Babylon had so many gods. Like they believe God gave them everything.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? The sun god, the water god, you know, all this. They believed that God gave them stuff. You know, they was a lot different than we are. You know what I'm saying? We don't look at God
for
as
every
giving
little
stuff.
thing.
We do. Yeah. You know, I'm just saying like us per se, but I'm just saying like the world as we know it today. We don't look at it like God gives us water and you know what I'm saying? And everybody, like I said, look at Egypt. The same thing that Moses was doing, the Pharaoh's guys was doing it too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like, you know, like us now, like we talk to a Muslim or we talk to a Buddhist and we talk about our gods. You know, we arguing with words. They was arguing with miracles, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it is though. It's like, was God present in all of them nations though? Like I said, you see what I just said, like you see with the Egyptian thing. You know what I'm saying? How could
it's almost even to translate it to this day, as much as you know what you've been taught and what you believe, regardless of what manifests from that, as hard as you try to get away from it, it finds its way into your life at some point. At some point that there's a piece of it that if it didn't change your life, it set the tone for you. And there's a piece of it that you like, I don't like the rest of it, but this right here. And I feel like, as you were saying, there's a lot of cultures that it's spread out, but there's those pieces of it that people took and they were like, this transformed me, or this kick-started my life. We're gonna start a foundation on this and toss the rest. And then we're gonna build around that.
And then the thing about it is maybe maybe that's done purposefully because it's like it puts us in a position that as a whole, mankind needs one another. Okay. If my culture and my group of people was to have the whole truth and all of the truth came from me, then I wouldn't need nobody else. I wouldn't need to learn from anybody else. Your culture doesn't matter. Okay. Just say, yeah, I know y'all get what I'm saying, but I want to make it really clear for people that might be paying attention to this. If I'm a Christian American, right? And I think that our democracy and our values and our core beliefs and all of that, if I believe that they were the absolute truth, they were right, you know what I'm saying? That would mean that everything that we do, everybody else should do too. And I can't look at your culture, your infrastructure, your belief system, and gain anything of value from it because I know it all. I have all the answers. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we kind of like look at this stage that God was setting up. Like, all right, I want y'all to be able to know who you are spiritually and know who I am, but I'm not going to give the answer to figuring that out to just one group of people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm a spread this thing out because what it forces you, if you're truly seeking, and that's the problem. We stop seeking because, hey, our core values are right, and this is what it is, and this is the absolute truth, and I don't need to go any further. You know, when all in all, it's like, no, go and you link up with people that are different than you and see things differently. But at the end of the day, you'll see, like, I think now do you said that, or Mark, both of y'all said that, like, you look at everybody's story. Oh, Mark, you were saying that specifically, how it's talking about the same thing, you know, not living this vain life, you know, and loving one another and obtaining this peace and becoming one with God and, you know, living the fulfilled life. And you know what I'm saying? Like all of those things, like it's saying the same story, but you're going to look at his story that's got the same end result as your end result, but you're going to be like, nah, that ain't the right one. And it's pieces that you're missing on how to even walk the steps that you walk.
And like you said, right, like you said, though, you go to the root of it, and you see it when they got off the ark and everybody started fanning out. Everybody took truth with them.
And they took it with them.
You know what I'm saying? But you think about it like, and I was just thinking about this, like me and Marcus, right? Mark, Daddy gave us both knowledge, right? But he didn't talk to us the same. He gave you knowledge, he gave me knowledge. You know what I'm saying? But we go our different ways, and what he gave us is different. You know what I'm saying? We put it together. We got this knowledge that's unstoppable. Like, damn, you know. And that's what, like I said, that's what you got where everybody's spread out. They take all this knowledge that they done got individually from their granddaddy, their daddy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like you said, you have bits and pieces everywhere. And you can tell, like, all of this is the same thing.
Right. I like your analogy. I want to expound on that. That was a good analogy. I like how you saying that. He might have gave you knowledge on, and I'm just using this for example or whatever, but he might have been like, all right, now do I see you gravitating towards the streets? So if you're gonna be in them streets, you're gonna have to know how to survive and what to do. So he might have gave you some street knowledge. You know what I'm saying? But then Marcus, he might have been like, all right, you might want to follow in my footsteps and, you know, go work at the mill or something and be a union man. Well, let me give him knowledge on that. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, Marcus, when you in the streets, you got to know how to handle yourself. And then Nandu, when you in the workplace, you got to know, you got to know the rules and regs. So it was still knowledge that he might have gave y'all individually, but it was for the season of where you was at that time. But collectively, as Nando, as you grow, and Marcus, as you grow, like y'all might cross those paths, and now y'all can be able to take those jewels that he probably was giving it to you holistically, both of y'all, but he might have been giving you a little bit more here and giving Marcus a little bit more here. Like, that's how I look at this whole big picture. We knew what he already knew, God already knew, because it's already pre-written, it's predestined, right? If that's what we believe, right?
Yeah.
And he knew that, okay, what was going to be going on in Asia, or what was going to be going on Native Americans, like what was going to be going on in Africa, what they were going to need, what the Jews were going to have to endure and suffer, and and this lost tribes of Hebrew. Like I knew what all of these individual people were going to need, so I gave them what they needed for their journey. But as everybody spreads out, and now we're starting to try to bring this thing back to a center point. And then that takes us back to what we was at with Egypt and the center of the world. Like, we're all trying to migrate back. I just got through, see this bracelet I got, right? Shout out to, I always get their names messed up. I be botching people's names up, man. I'm going to shout them out later after I get their name right. But this couple, man, the mixed couple, man, the wife, she's black and the husband white, and they travel to Africa. They go to Ghana and bring stuff back, you know what I'm saying, to the States, and bring back like authentic things that's made over in Africa or whatever. But man, I'm listening to this dude. He just talk about how he go back over there and just like, it's so beautiful, and I just feel such at peace and blah 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 blah. This white man telling me this, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's drawn to that energy, you know what I'm saying? So like I think that that's kind of like where we at. We're at this season where everybody is taking the knowledge that they have, sharing it with other cultures, but at the same time, we all like trying to get back to this centralized state of being, man, where like all of this knowledge matters for where we're at. You know what I'm saying? Is that making sense?
Yeah, then you got to think too. It's a maturity level too, because like I said with the me and Marcus situation, Daddy gave us a lot of knowledge, but it didn't start making sense until we got to certain ages.
That's
what I'm saying? So when these people got that knowledge before they started dispersing, they got this knowledge, but it's not making sense to them until they start getting older, start getting responsibility and maturing. Then they're like, oh, damn, what Daddy and Granddaddy tell me now is making sense.
Man, you just confirmed something in my head, man. Why do you think it's called ages? You know what I'm saying? We go through, we're in the age, we're aging, we're maturing. We're not just maturing individually, but as humanity, as a group of people, we're aging and we're maturing. So now we can understand more of the things that were given to us in the beginning. You might not understand why, you shouldn't put your hand on the stove when you was 2. You know what I'm saying? But as you get older and you mature, something that you was taught and given way back then, now I get it. Now I get it. Oh, that's why mama told me don't do this. I think that's where we're at, man. It's like we're starting to, that age and that maturity is starting to develop amongst mankind holistically. Everybody is starting to see like, man, there's more to it than this. And as more and more things are being revealed and discovered, also there's truth. More and more of things that are not truth are being exposed too. You notice that? Did y'all see? Did y'all see that documentary, that Hillsong documentary, man?
Yeah, I seen it. Oh my goodness, man.
Yeah. But I said, but oh yeah, because Darnell, me and you was on the phone talking about this when I said this. Right now, we in the spirit are in the season of dealing with the Father. And he's got no tolerance. Especially, the thing about it is what I've realized is when you really look at these situations and you really hear what the people you really watching this stuff, these people have been reprimanded. These leaders have been reprimanded or had the fortitude to set themselves down multiple times. Now he's like, okay. Remember I said this, Darnell? I was like, Nando's on the phone with us too. And I said, he's like, oh, okay, you want to be a habitual. Well, I'm tired of habitual. So I'm finna, like he say, it's only so many times that you can say, forgive me before and I'm not trying to demean them. I'm just saying where we get in the spirit as all leaders though, because you feel like you could just, especially being on the plateau, you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm not judging them because they say heavy is the head that wears the crown or whatever. That's leadership. It's hard to not give in to your.
Yeah. But I mean, what's the saying, man? Everything done in the dark comes to light. Like I just feel like it's not even so much like God is like weary or giving people chance after chance. It's just like it's gonna happen regardless. Like it's gonna be exposed. Like
Right.
it's like as truth comes into position, it's gonna expose everything that's not truth. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a automatic recurrence. I feel like, and I think that's kind of like the beginning stages that we're at right now. Is just like, nah, this is eventually going to come into light. So if you're not seeking, and I think that's the biggest problem. Like I don't just downplay like the prosperity mega churches, Christianity, but I don't just downplay that. I just think that Christianity kind of hit that brick wall where, oh, you want to reveal yourself? Okay, every now we get a glimpse, right? And that mark ain't on. But yeah, Christianity hit that brick wall because it's just like, all right, we ain't got to seek no more. We got the answer. We figured it out. So we're not seeking no more. And I think that's causing the corruption more than anything. Because
well, I think too that we aren't holding people accountable. Like we're scared because of the culture that we live in, the council culture and stuff like that. We're scared to hold these pastors and stuff accountable.
Or offend
you know what I'm saying? Like I watched this one dude, I send a lot of videos to the group and stuff like that of the dude. He do that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He holds all of them accountable. You know what I'm saying? But it's not enough people that hold these people accountable. You got to hold these people accountable, man. The Bible says, what do it say about false prophets? They should lose everything. It says respect, money, all of that. They should lose it. How do they lose it? That's from their congregations walking away.
Yeah.
You got to hold them accountable, man. We're not holding them accountable.
Yeah, but I mean, it says beware, though, man. And I think that's more of the problem than the leaders, man. I'm sorry. It's just, okay, the people underneath the leaders may be getting beguiled, thinking that they listening to the truth. But, like, it's on them, man. If you're putting your whole belief system in the palm of a doctrine or a man or or organization or anything, man, that's on you. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
and I'm not. Go ahead.
Well, it's not really. So it's not really on the people. It's on the leadership. You can't, because these pastors make themselves gods, man. We were talking about this before, Dobbs. How people go to church and go to the altar every Sunday.
Yeah.
Why the hell you keep going to the altar? What the fuck are you getting from it? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I've been to churches where, especially like when we was at family and we was before he built the big one, when we was at the small one. Like his people just go up there just to talk to him like they was starstruck.
Yeah.
Like he a man just like you is, God just giving him a message.
Yeah, I was just telling Michelle that too. It wasn't even that. Like, I know how that felt. I remember as a kid going up in front of the pastor, like you feel like you talking to like I gotta watch my every word. Like you nervous feeling,
I never was into that, man.
Like, and I'm like, what the heck?
To him.
Yeah, I don't feel like that right now, man. I don't care. It could be the president of the UN, man. I don't care who it is. Like, I'm gonna talk to you just like I talk to anybody else. It's just because I'm confident of who I am now. And that was the thing for me.
And then we from Chicago area too. I've been seeing stars since I was 13, 14 years old.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That got something to do with it too, but I'm just
I've never been starstruck like that. You know what I'm saying?
It's not even so much starstruck, but it's just me thinking that their wisdom level is so much surpassed mine that I'm not.
They idiots. Like how could you think somebody? I mean, okay, I could see, like you said, if you're only getting Sunday morning and Wednesday, then I could see them feeling like, this guy has more knowledge than me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's on a different spiritual level than I am.
But if they're studying to show themselves approved, they will see the light.
I mean, that's why you see so many people. Yeah. That's why you see so many people keep moving around, like Auntie Nell and people like that keep moving and bouncing around churches because they're not getting fed.
Yeah,
you're going listening to the same sermon every Sunday.
Yeah, or that's the thing. They'll go from one pastor to the next because they're still looking for somebody to feed them or to open their eyes to something that's new and something that's fresh. And it's not happening. Like I say, at the end of the day, I don't put it on the leaders first. I'm sorry. Okay. I just take it like myself.
It's their responsibility though.
So like, okay. So what I'm saying, go ahead, Nadu. Mark, go ahead.
So Nadu, honestly, I used to feel the same way you did. I really did. I used to feel like it was on the leaders and stuff like that. But then when I really, really began to like sit back and watch and realize, like, just like in life, in the spirit, you only grow as much as you want.
Yeah. Yep.
A leader can, like a leader, like they say, you could teach a man to fish. Now, that's the only thing that I'll say that we say leaders are responsible for. But as Darnell says all the time, how can you teach 1,000 people to fish in 2 hours for themselves? You can't. So you always fishing for them. You can't fish for that many. You can't teach that many people in one Sunday in half an hour how to fish.
It's like they're doing.
You know what I'm saying? So like
Jesus did it, didn't he?
No, huh?
Jesus did it, didn't he?
Now watch. Wait. He had 3 years with them boys.
No, I ain't talking. No, I'm not talking about. I'm not just talking about the apostles. I'm talking about the people he fed with all them fish. I'm talking about.
Oh, you talking about physically? But
you not. Wait.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but isn't Christ the example though?
Listen, that's fine. That's fine. But what you referring to is a faith technique. That's what you referring to. That's a faith technique. That's what that is.
No.
And I understand what you're saying, but that is what you're saying. That's a faith technique, is what you're saying.
All right, let me know.
But isn't that an example saying?
Yes, let me break it down.
He fed all of them people. Isn't that him saying, as a leader, you should be able to feed the people that are following you?
Nope. Let me explain it. You ready? All right. The story of him feeding the 5,000. What did he do before he multiplied the fish? And I'm not talking about prayed over it or none of that. What did he instruct the disciples to do?
Oh, man.
Now you could jump in anytime.
Dang. What did he tell them to go do?
He told them, and it's more than one.
He told the disciples to go and tell the people to go home, right? Because there wasn't no food out there, and they need to get home to come eat. And the disciples came back and told Jesus, the people said that they don't want to leave, and that's when that leads up to.
Okay, but what did he tell the disciples? He told them that he was like, well, what do we got to feed them? And he's like, this boy just got 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread or whatever it is. I don't remember what. I forgot to count. What did he tell the disciples to do? And maybe this might have been after he blessed it. I don't know.
I can't remember.
But, okay, this is what he told them to do. He said, break into small groups of 50. Women and children and blah, 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 blah. They broke into small groups.
Yeah, they did.
That's the significant part. And then to go back, all right, shout out to Francis Chan. I don't know the dude, but I love his story. All right. I shout him out all the time. Francis Chan the Chinese pastor. I had never heard of him until after he did this. But started a church in California, grew. It was only 400 people at first, grew into 10,000 mega church, right? Big mega church. Up there, Mark, he know this because I always talk about it all the time. He's up there preaching one Sunday. He looks out in the crowd. He sees all these people, 5,000, 10,000, how many people? 20,000, I don't know. All these people. And he looked and he realized how much he was pouring his gift out to all of these people. But he looked out there and he didn't know half the names of these people. Like he said, all of these people with all of these gifts of their own, that they were not able to walk in their gifts because they were just coming here every Sunday and every Wednesday, like you said, Nando, just to hear his gift. So he stepped down. He said, I'm done. He stepped down and they revamped the church. I don't think they stopped that church. He maybe gave the church to somebody else. I don't know the full story. But yeah,
he did.
And he started small churches in people's houses where it's only no more than 10 people. And they did this all over the country and other cities. And they all had these small house churches. And every now and again, they all fly to one central place and kind of fellowship together. But other than that, every Sunday. And he said, guess what? We ain't got no overhead. We ain't got to pay no bills. We ain't got to none of that. We doing it at somebody's house. And they still pay tithes and offering and all of that. But they decide where their tithes and offerings is going to go to a nonprofit or to, country in Africa or whatever. They actually take that money and bless somebody with it. Why am I making that point? Just same thing in the Bible when we see about the scribes. Now that we talked about that. When Ezra and Nehemiah, they reading the word to the masses and they gather them together and they reading it. But when they finish reading the word, all of the scribes, the ones that could read and write, took the scrolls and they went and broke into individual groups and started explaining what it was that they read to small groups of people.
Right. And that's what I'm saying, man. Though. It's still on the leadership to put that into place, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When it's all said and done, the leadership still has to, we're gonna break it down or whatever.
All right.
Wait, I got it.
No, I got it. No, I got it. Trust me, I got it. So, just as Nando was saying that, the way that they're getting away with that, Nando, man, this is crazy. I mean, no, this is profound. I'm sorry, this is profound. The way that they're getting away with that is instead of they are breaking down this into small groups, but they're creating ministries instead of study ministries. Instead of study groups, they're creating ministries. The children's ministry, the youth ministry, the this, that, and the other. Bop, bop, bop. Those are your small groups. For them,
I see what you're saying, but that's not like
you're right. That's not right. But that's how they getting away with it.
No. What it is like how my mom and them had the Jesus people back at Jerusalem. That's what it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? You have you get your what's called on Sunday, and then you might not be able to break down in groups like they used to, but you have the rest of the week to come get more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right. Right, but
it's not like you said. Open for that. You know what I'm saying?
But
they have all this. Yeah.
But like I said to Darnell, me and Darnell talked about this the other day, and I told him I was just gonna start saying it, and I'm not apologetic about it. At this point, I just feel in my spirit that we have, as we the church, I said I was gonna start saying that too. We the church have allowed those who have been ordained.
That's it.
To turn we the church into empires.
Man, listen, Dave,
we have subtly over the decades and over the years, we've tried to fight it, but then there will be some mainstream pastor or some mainstream prophet that's within the what do you call it? Prosperity gospel, what to call it, and they'll start calling out the pastors that are not in line, calling them demons, etc. Da 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 da. And then you got the whole we the church afraid to step outside of the prosperity gospel and go somewhere else and listen to somebody else and not be tied down to one place, membership.
Mm-hmm.
But we're all one body though, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why do I need to become a member of your house?
Yeah,
but we're all one body. It's all the things that are intertwined that are we justify to be subtly okay, and it's not. That's where we, the church, have allowed the leaders to be in position of power that they are, because the subtle rules that we could fight and be like, no, I don't need to become a member. We're all one body because I've accepted the same thing that you believe. And it says, according to the word, we become one, right? As brothers and sisters in Christ, we are all one body. So why is it that I need to give you all my information, my email, my social security card, etc., blah, 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 my financials, my taxes, this, that, and the third, also I could be a member of your house.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I'm like, so it's a push and pull.
It's God's house. But it's not your house. You're not God.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like I said,
but if we went
beginning though, and like you said, it's us. I'm saying them. Because I'm not a member of no church and I don't go to no church. So that's why I be saying them. But like you said, we all out of church. And it's us. We aren't holding them accountable. We have to hold them accountable.
Okay, all right. Let me
hold them accountable. You take their money from them, man.
Yeah,
that's what keep them going.
But look,
keep them on TV, keep them in front of all these people. You have to move to where you're being fed.
Yeah, let me expound on what Marcus was saying. Like, we've created this hierarchy for the pastors because most people is just lazy, man. They don't want to seek for themselves. They want somebody to give them some understanding for them to go home and take. And I'm just going to keep believing what pastors say and get my money. That seems easy enough and simple enough for me. And if I do this, then God's going to bless me. And then they're roped in by the prosperity. The prosperity gospel was created by people that wanted to be prosperous, like, because they thought that was it's the same thing with with the Jews, what they expected from the Messiah, to get free from the tyranny of the Romans. Like, and they're not really seeing, okay, it's a bigger understanding behind this lifestyle. Following the way is not just about the comforts of your physical existence. And that's what people want. I don't want to be hurt no more. Versus, hey, let me teach you that life is suffering. And when you suffer, when God said, when you weak, I'm made strong, like, this is part of the process. You should welcome this process because you're going to learn and grow from that. No, we don't want that. We want everything that's bad that happened to our life, God to take it away. And we want him to just bless us with blessings and peace, not realizing what blessings are for.
Right. And that's what, like you said, that's what it is. We've let the world into the church. Point blank.
But I'm saying, but listen, we let the world in the church because that's what the world wanted. They're giving the world what they want because they want to feel like what they're doing. It's almost like, okay, I feel like I'm almost saying it exactly like how I want to say it, but it's almost like the leaders are catering to the needs of the people because they don't want to turn the people away. And it's almost
that's what it is.
Okay, it's almost just like a baby crying and you want to get his baby the carrots and peas because it's good for him, but the baby don't want the carrots and peas. You keep trying to get a baby carrots and peas, baby just don't want the carrots and peas. You know the carrots and peas are good for the baby, but the baby just don't want it. So the baby just keep crying, and eventually you just like, all right, I want to make the baby happy, so I'm gonna go get the applesauce. And you get a baby the applesauce full of sugar that the baby don't need. But now the baby want the applesauce, and what the baby gonna get used to? The applesauce. And what you gonna keep doing? Giving the baby the applesauce. You know, and now the other parent, because that's what you want. You want us to be the other parent to criticize him. You giving your baby all that sugar, and then you get blah 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 blah. But well, the baby cries, and I guess like you said, it does fall back on the leaders because you chose to give them the applesauce. But it's almost just like that's all that we want. We want it sweet. We want it easy. We want it nice. And when we don't have it, we feel
but
lost.
There's a way.
And
look,
it's almost like one last thing is something I watched the other day. I watched this Paul Washer.
Yeah,
I was watching this thing that he was talking about worship or whatever.
Oh
he was
yeah,
talking about
I think I put that. Yeah, I put that in the group.
Oh yeah, you sent that. Remember the part that he said about that one church he went to where he knew that
it wasn't that
person.
Yeah,
they studied, they was obedient to God, and they was just beautiful people and all that. But they would sing these hymns, and they say people would go into church and be like, "Oh, this church is dead." Why? Because it wasn't an emotional stir up. We wasn't catering to their emotions. Instead of listening to the words of this hymn and let it minister to your spirit, you wanted the upbeat tempo and the slick dance moves and the band that was hot and the lights and all of this stuff. You wanted to stir up your emotional side, your physical side. And that's what we want. We want to be stirred up in that way, and we don't want to unlock. And that's I think that goes back to what I was saying earlier about me not want to be entertained no more, because I still like action movies and stuff like that, but it's just different now. And I think it's just because I've unlocked something. I've unlocked a different craving, a different desire, and like I said, my emotions. Go ahead.
Right, and like I said, it's about understanding. Like, the prosperity gospel is a lie. Like, just to be all the way real, the prosperity gospel is a lie. You telling people that life is gonna get better and you can have
heaven on earth.
You know what I'm saying? But we talked about that the other day. Like, how did God tell the apostles to pray?
Yeah. Our Father.
God, let your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. He didn't tell them to ask for nothing. And then it turn around the Bible and tell you that your needs will be met.
Yeah.
If you believe in the Bible, the Bible
stop. So this is
but listen.
Wait, nah. I gotta cut in.
I'm not finished.
It's just the second time it's to come up, and I gotta touch on it, bro. Wait. Nah, man, I gotta.
Okay, wait. Before you even go anywhere, the Bible tells you for Christians, this world is going to get worse for you, or the tribulation can't come. It's not going to happen if this world don't get worse for Christians. It's not going to get better.
What you got, Mark? Huh?
I'm cool.
What did you had? You was pretty.
I'm cool.
Well, yeah, I ain't got nothing.
No, I'm just saying that's what, you know what I'm saying.
I was excited to hear what Marcus was going to say.
No, but that's what the Bible tells you. The Bible tells you. He told the apostles how to pray. Let your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. He tells you he's going to supply your needs.
Yeah, then, what do you got to that?
It tells you that
something.
It tells you that in the end times, coming to the tribulation, the world is going to get worse for Christians. Oh, for the world, they're going to love it. It's going to be great for them. They can have everything they want.
Yeah.
But for Christians, the world is going to get worse. Yeah. That's how 666 come into play, and you can't do nothing if you don't have that mark. All of that.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, that's very clear cut, and it totally slumps the prosperity gospel. So I I don't know how we got so caught up in the world system and riches and wealth, and that's what life is all about. Blah 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 blah. I don't know how we missed that part in the Bible, in the story. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's people in leadership in churches that aren't ordained by God. People, if you look at, I'm not gonna say most because I don't know. I haven't did any research or anything like this. But from what I've seen, churches are passed down.
Oh yeah.
Instead of
the green
putting
leaves.
it in, like, say me and Marcus got I got a church, right? And all of us, y'all my deacons. Mm-hmm. And God telling me to give the church to Nate. But I'm like, no, I'm keeping the church in my family. I'm giving it to Marcus.
Right. When Nate is really called.
Right. This is what's going on in the churches. It's not being passed down to people that are ordained by God.
Yeah.
They passing the churches down, and then the people that get it, they ain't hearing from God. You telling me, and this is what I said this. I be saying this to y'all all the time.
They're mimicking what they see.
Yes, they're doing what they've been taught, what they've heard. You telling me you ain't got no other job. You sitting here for a whole week. All you doing is talking to God and getting a message. And you coming out with the same message every week. God not giving you the same thing he been giving me for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
It's no way people should be sitting in church and not getting fed, man. Not when we're getting fed and we ain't even sitting in no church.
Yeah. So what you're saying, let's go back to the matter at hand though. What you're saying is that we need to be the ones exposing these leaders to get people, because is that truly gonna get people to want to seek on their own, bro? Like, just to be honest, like, people love, and I'm gonna throw old Joey out there, right? Everybody loves Joey, right? He's motivational, blah blah blah, Joe Osteen, right? Like, if we come to find out, like, this dude is just all the way bogus, you know what I'm saying? Because we know he ain't teaching truth. He's just motivating people. Like, do you really think that people are gonna want to start to gravitate towards the hard truth? Like, people don't want to hear that, man.
They don't.
Like,
I think people like that are right where they want to be.
I mean, you can, and when I say expose, that don't mean we have to expose their sinful nature, their corruptive side, because we see that happen.
Right.
We should be exposing them.
Like you said, it's not exposing them.
No, I'm saying exposing the fact that they're just not teaching truth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody is going to listen to that, man.
Right.
I mean,
like I
don't feel like that.
It's not about exposing them. It's about getting people to the point where they need more and they leave. Like I said, what does the Bible say about false prophets? You're to not respect them and make them lose everything. The Bible says that. Get out of there. That? In Isaiah, I think. Isaiah, or did Jeremiah say it? One of them said it. It was a prophet that said it. They're not to be respected and they're to lose everything. Get out of there. You know what I'm saying? It's not, like I said, it's not about exposing them. It's about giving people truth. Because, you know, like we talked about, one door opens another door. Yeah. Give them a door so they can find another door to open so they can look for more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they'll know where they sitting at is not giving them enough so they can find somewhere else to go get it. Get out of there.
I think for me, I think the biggest thing for me is, and I'm gonna give y'all something that a pastor friend told me when I was still going to a church and it was a lot of things in the church. I felt that I was led to be there, and it was a lot of things that wasn't sitting right with me. And it wasn't even like it was like false teaching or wrong or any of that. I just felt like it was just like, man, that's not the whole truth, or that's from my understanding. I felt that it was misguided truths, you know. And what he said to me was, he was like, you don't have to confront that heads on, or you don't have to try to be this voice, like to try to change people's mindset or their understanding. You just be truthful to what you understand, and you live by that. And when you live by that, people will see it and they will gravitate towards you. You know what I'm saying? Like they will come to
So
you. Like, okay, think about this. I used this analogy with Michelle earlier. When you go fishing, Marcus, you fish. You know what I'm saying? You go fishing, you don't take your bait and just run it all over you put it in one place and the fish come to you. And what are you using? You're using something that the fish like. You're throwing something in there that they like, but when you hook them, you got them. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, that's what I feel like we're supposed to be doing. That's when Christ talks about us being fishers of men. He's talking about our life, our light, our integrity. So whatever truth that you're gaining and you're understanding, you just walk in that. And people gonna, by nature, they're gonna ask, like, dang, man, what, well, why you know this, or why you know that, or why you do this, or why you do that, or how you know. And that's when you begin to talk to them about the truth that you gain, and let that witness to them for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, I tell people that all the time. Like, I know God has called me to be in a leadership role, but everybody that humbly comes to me and wants me to be that figure in their lives, I tell them, like, look, I only know how to be a good leader because I was under a great leader. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I was a great follower. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be willing to be underneath something that witnesses in your spirit, not to your flesh. And I feel like that's what the prosperity gospel does. It caters to our needs, our outward needs, and that's what people draw to it. And they haven't tapped into the real essence of who they are. It's like, we're kindred spirit. We bounce off of each other because we've been all on this individual quest on our own. So when we talk, like, we're feeling that energy from each other, and it's not no one man above the crew. You know what I'm saying? Like, what movie was that? Juice. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all, that's what the whole sharpen iron thing is all about. And that's not happening in the church. You know what I'm saying? And people just don't want that. They don't want to sharpen nobody else's iron. They just want iron to be tickled. You know what I'm saying? Like, they want that. And like I say, I think that the biggest thing right now is that the people that are seeking on their own continue to do that. And you will draw people towards you, and y'all will be that kindred spirit, taking all of the time just to expose, or like, it's automatically gonna happen. That's just my take. That's my theory. I feel like it's gonna happen because it's all predestined. It's all part of the course anyway. We're in this age of understanding and the age of maturity, and people are being enlightened, being woke, being, healed, being truly free in their inward man, and not just trying to be free from all of the outside oppression that you face every day, and realizing all of those things are all part of life's journey. You know what I'm saying? And embracing it. Like, I think that that's the ticket, for me. That's my take. And we getting close to time anyway, so I think we could go ahead and give our takes. So that was my take. Mark, where you at, man? You ain't said nothing since you had that profound thing to say, and then you didn't say it because Nando didn't let you get in.
No. honestly, what I realized and what it comes down to, what's a big problem is those who are in leadership have convinced people that, number one, the only way that they can have a genuine relationship with God is through them and not the Holy Spirit, which subtly puts you in a place that you forget that God is your provider and not a prophecy from your past,
Mm-hmm.
not a word of encouragement,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So now we are in a place as man, is not only is the church doing it, society is doing it to men too, right? Me and Darnell, we talked about this, about us forgetting the minor detail that in the beginning said that God created Adam and placed him in Eden and asked him to be a manager. I looked it up like 2 days ago, and if you go through the biblical scriptures, the Bible scriptures, there's about 100 scriptures that have different people that talk about the Lord who supply my need, the Lord my provider. Men,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
my provider, right? Which means all of this time they're still saying that God is providing all of these things for us. But they continue as faith without works is dead. And I'm not saying you can't live this life without doing strategic things to put yourself in position that when God does do something, you can walk through that door. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is they put people in position to where they're scared to have faith. They're afraid that if something don't happen right after they do what their pastor told them to do, this, that, and the third, they done sin, they missed the part, something didn't go right, and they may have done everything exactly right. It just wasn't time for that harvest to break itself, right? So now you have that. So now you got people who, when they talk about Ezekiel 34, those who know better, they kill those who know better. Those who know better would be, like you said, Darnell, those of us in kindred spirit, that when we sit there and we begin to raise our hands in your little Bible study and ask you questions that force you to make your eyes go up in your head, most leaders don't like that. They don't like to be made to feel uncomfortable in front of those that they feel like they delegate to, those that they shepherd, right? You got all of this going on in the mix of that, right? And like Nando said, like you said, though, Darnell, there are people out there looking for freedom. But the subtlety with that is what kind of freedom are they going to find?
Yeah.
See what I mean? Like, it's good that you got a hope. It's good that you've got a hope. That the people that are out there that are looking for a freedom, that they're going to find a freedom. But what kind of freedom are they going to find? You see what I mean? Because you can't. They may find a freedom, but is it the genuine, true freedom that they should have? The freedom that propels them past whoever it is that they've come underneath. Like I was saying earlier, that you're not locked in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You feel me? Or like I was telling you the other day that we were talking about how shepherds are willing to allow sheep to become shepherds. You can see that that's what they're becoming, and you don't get in their way. You're like, oh, well, look at you. Well, go ahead and get your own herd.
Yeah.
Like
come
you said,
back right
like
here.
you said, Mark, they've took Christ's place.
But let me finish. So with all of that being the case, and Darnell, I'm gonna have to you know better, but I'm gonna put more detail to it. When you throw a bob out into the water, you can let it sit there, but you got a better chance of snagging something if you skimming that sucker back towards you across that water, because that fish is seeing whatever that is.
That's with bass fishing, right?
Right, dragging across the water, right? So let's translate that into what we would manifest with us. If you could teach a man to fish on how to string a fish along to the point that it don't realize that there's a hook with that worm. You see what I'm saying? And if they would say, you got your Bible thumpers that try to beat people into submission with their truth, right?
Okay.
And where you just out fishing, subtly pulling that reel back, see if you catch you something, then you hook it. Yeah, you might have to wrestle it in.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like, because everybody, once you get them to come to, all right, I'm listening.
Okay.
That's basically you hooking the fish. Right?
That's good. I'm with you.
You see what I'm saying? That's basically hooking the fish. Now, you might have to wrestle with them a little bit because what they have convinced themselves justifiably in their mind and the truth that they understand. Mm-hmm. That's the wrestle and getting the fish to shore.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now, good. What you were talking about and breaking people up in groups, that's what you were saying Francis Chan done. That's universal. Why? Because you can string people, show people how to string people along because you want to what? String them along to the truth. You want to catch them with the truth. The problem is with us as leaders, those of us who are teachers, we get in the way of God. And we let people that have a profound moment, and because you're there or you were connected to it, your name's more attached than them having a commune moment with God. And we take that and we have that Saul moment, and then your name begins to ring everywhere. And before you know it, you have those who are ordained in this season showing up to places like celebrities, like hip hop artists, etc. Blah 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 blah. Why? Because their name. Ooh.
Now you're Christ.
I'm glad I get to finally say this. So instead of like it was as we read, when you have man's name attached to God, we are in the season of where God's name is attached to man.
It's just like I said, it's just like Christ.
You see, but wait, let me, and I'm a cut with this. I'm a cut with this, and this is what I'm a cut with, because you don't have any pastors anywhere that before they start their message that will say to the crowd, if you're here because of my name, get up and get out.
Nah.
If you're here because of my name, get up and get out, because I didn't come here to provide a thrill for you because you feel like you coming to hear from a great man of God. I came here to give the word of the Lord. If you're not here to hear that, get up and get out.
That's right. That's great. That's great. That's great.
You're not gonna get that.
I'm not here on my own fruition.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's great. That's right. That's great.
I mean, you see that. I mean, you got such and such ministries, such and such ministries, such and such ministries. There's always somebody's name with ministries on it. And like you said, what Marcus just said, man, we're attaching God to our thing, to our vision. I'm a healer. This is my ministry, a healing ministry. This is a outreach ministry. Oh, this is a prosperity ministry. Like you're
this
putting
is God's ministry.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
God in your thing instead of making it what God is, and that's truth. So yeah, man, that's
that was good,
it, man. That's it. Well, all right, man. I feel like that was some jewels drop. Feel like we covered a little ground, man. Hopefully, for our first guest coming on, man, talking about getting back to that center point, finding where everything came from, physically and spiritually, which is the biggest thing.
Right.
What's the spiritual tie to Egypt? Why? What was it that was just so, like I said earlier,
what's so mystical, special about it? Why is it mentioned so many times? Why are Why is the things that we have faith and believe in, like I said, why was it found in Egypt and not in the promised land? You know what I'm saying? Why did everybody that's tied to the promised land, the people that, you know, God put an emphasis on? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to say that we look up to, but the people that God put an emphasis on. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could have picked anybody. It didn't have to be Abraham, Moses, Jeremiah. It didn't have to be them people. Yeah. But why the people that he put emphasis on, why did all them make that track to Egypt? They could have went anywhere.
Yeah.